So at this point, you may know that I like making nuclear power plants. So, and show you the history from my very first power plant to the newest one. Let's start with number one. So, number one, this was originally on a server, and the server closed down, but I was able to get a world download and import the power plant. As you can see, it kind of had an explosion. Not, oh, those bats, loud. But it didn't really make it out too well. Kind of broken, but the idea was simple. First power plant. So, as you can see, right here. And here's the reactor, the storage area. There's normally a gate right here. And then this is like the control room. And in this world, I actually had this connect to a bunker. But the bunker is not connected to this one, so it just kind of goes out into an empty field. But I decided to take the time and rebuild it to show a model of what it used to look like. Not 100% perfect, but it's pretty similar. So as you can see, this is what the reactor used to look like. And then there used to be redstone and switches and elevator there, but I wasn't able to rebuild that. Here's the storage area. And then there used to be a gate here. And then here's the little gate booth. And if you went in here, there's just some simple stuff. Lights. And then just the door to the back. And then if we go over here, there are some signs of people who helped make the power plant to begin with. And here's a control room. I wasn't exactly able to recreate this part, but I was able to get most of it. So here's the redstone behind the walls. Again, very simple. Oh, what's on there? Not just an empty hallway. But this would go out and power to the city. And if you saw one of my previous videos, you would know that these power lines did go indeed to a city. Yeah, I might even play a clip right now. So, besides that, it was just a very simple building. And this is also where the dangerometer, also known as the DOM, was first introduced. So, it was a simple concept. The higher the danger risk, the higher the lights would turn on. Alright, so, now that this is done, let's move on to power plant number 2, the solar power plant. So, yes, this one isn't a nuclear power plant, but it's solar and it was still pretty cool. This one was also on the same server, but I was again able to get the world download. So this one was a bit more advanced and had more redstone features. So first was the gate. It's quite simple. And then there was the check-in booth. You would put in your ID, and then they would flick a switch in there to open up the gate. Then you go in, and it's just a basic little power plant. This was originally supposed to go to something, but I never finished it, and I don't remember what it went to. Probably the bunker, but I don't know. And then there was like a little security tower. I could go up and just kind of watch. But yeah, that wasn't the best. But it was interesting. It was still the early days, just learning. And then if we go into here, this is like the staff room. Just kind of relax. Lights. Oh yeah, that's one thing about this place. The redstone was super confusing. If we look at this, there is redstone, but it's just very random. Anyways, after that, there's the gate booth. And then, you know, the gate. Quite simple. There used to be paintings in here, but you know, those kind of broke using World Edit to import the world. Anyways, if we go down here, this is a nice little room that you can see all the redstone and solar panels and all that. And then there's a basic light switch. And then here's the control room. And I had a spelling mistake, and it was funny. Under construction, warning, anger. Not danger, anger. We go in here. Quite simple. Self-destruct mode. Don't know why I had that enabled though. The alarm switch. very loud. Oh, Powerplant 1 also had an alarm switch. I'll go show that in a minute. But then there was the emergency solar panel. So, like that. Then there was flashing lights that would alert you that there was an issue. No sound though, so if you're not looking at it, you wouldn't tell that the was on. And then just some light controls. Set 1 lights. Those went somewhere, not sure where. Then there was the set 2 lights. As you can see, it turned off this part. And then there was the room lights. So yeah, let's go back to the first power plant and show you the alarm real fast. Alright. As you can see, quite simple, nothing fancy. Oh yeah, and then there was also just the switches to turn on and off the power to the city. Oh. So this was also the first building with a 2-story, proper, all-in-one building. And Powerplant version 1 was the only one that had an open layout. So you could actually walk around and then see the sun. Until after that, every power plant was just completely rooms and bricks and all that. As you can see, older redstone and trying to fix it. There was some glitches, but self-destruct part 2. And then there was the system reset to bring down the dangerometer version 2. Much more sophisticated. I think that was broken. Manual system reset. Then there was the emergency alarm, or the auto emergency alarm. So when the dangerometer reached the max level, the alarms would automatically sound, a new feature in Powerplant version 2. Then you can increase the danger, but that could take a while, so yeah. But again, this all did have redstone to it, so it's just broken as time went on though, and importing the world. Then there was the lights behind the walls, so back here, there's the room lights. Oop, turn those back on. Section 2 lights, which would have originally been over there, but was never finished. And then hall lights, over here. And then there was a little status telling you when the most power was being produced in a day. And then there was just this little area over here. Yeah, quite interesting. This did nothing, this was just for looks. But then there was a door that allowed you to go into the ceilings. So if we go in here, it's just simple redstone. Well, not so much simple, because this place was very... I don't know what I was doing when I was making this place, but it was not designed very well. Very confusing. So, besides that, that's all for Powerplant version 2. Now, let's move on to version 3. Oh yeah, version 3. So the story behind this. The server reset after that, and then there was a world. It was probably one of the coolest power plants. 2 stories, 2 reactors, super cool features and all that. And, I just wish it was there, but I couldn't get a world download of that, and the world was deleted. So now there's just a book saying rest in peace version 3. It was probably one of the coolest. And then, Powerplant version 4. First one shown on the YouTube channel. So in here, if we take a full-on tour, this is one of the most advanced power plants that came from all the way just being a simple little tiny little building to literally becoming massive, about 1.6 million blocks. And none of these are 100% finished, mostly because I just want to keep on starting new ones. Why is the water so loud? But anyways, if we go in here, there's a new gate, and then you would toss in the ID, and then they would let you in. The hallway was a new idea, starting in version 3. So if we go in here, the gate room, as you can see, nothing crazy, just some lights, this, and then like a little door. Light switch. Oh, I don't know why that's not working. But Powerplant version 3 was also the very first one to introduce the power backup generator. And in this power plant, it's in the security room. So if we go into here, and then here's the security room. Again, nothing fancy. Bathroom, and in here, lights, and then the backup generator. Right here. So the model in version 3, it was originally in a work tower, which was like 5-6 stories tall. And it was in the back right of the power plant. But it was pretty cool. So besides that, over here, there's an interview room. As you can see, nothing fancy. There's a place to interview, talk to somebody, interrogate even. And then if we keep on going down here, there's the stairs that go down to level 0. And then as you can see, some lights, not completely finished. But then there's just redstone things that shouldn't be down, that you shouldn't be down here really for, but are just down here. Oh. I don't know what's stuck here. I don't know what that is. Anyways, if we go back up, there's also stairs to the next story, not store, there's no store here. And there's the men's bathroom. Yep. As you can see, I was working on it and forgot to fix it, but yeah. Then there's the other bathroom. Then there's the elevator room, which there's also a door for over there to control the elevator if something breaks. This was a very simple model, but it took me a long time to build. So you could call it down, and then you can send it up. But we needed to go back down. So let's go over here before we go down the hallway. This was the experiment room. Just kind of like a little room where you can test things. This was one with the light switch in the ceiling. Very interesting. And then if we go over here, intimate. This was just a basic storage room. But then there was also a hallway down, as you can see. But that was removed in favor to put in lights down here. But just very basic. You just store your items here and then just do work as needed. Which would then lead you into the mobile vehicle bay. So if there was an issue with power, these trucks, quote unquote, would go out and fix the issue. Then there was the main, yeah, very basic, nothing fancy. Yep. And then it takes us back down the hallway. So after that, there was the control room, which was, again, one of the more advanced ones. Version 3 had a very interesting control room, which we will see some of those features come back in version 4. But for now, there's just basic switches, the lights, tells you the status of the backup generator and the main power system, the danger meter, which was supposed to be automatic, but as you can see, was hooked up, but nothing actually turned it on or off, so you just kind of had to manually mess with it. And this was supposed to be like a master control board for like the reactor, but there's currently no redstone actually hooked up to it. It's just empty redstone. And then there was supposed to be the door to let you into the reactor, so that never happened. And so there's no actual way to get into the reactor room, but we'll show that in a second. So if we go back to here. This is also, I think, one of the only power plants that didn't have a proper alarm system installed. Then if we go into the reactor room, with, of course, your special ID, there's the key, the door, you put on your suit, go through the doors, decontamination room, wait for that, doors would open, you would put in the ID again, and then normally it would let you through, and then you could go into the reactor, but that never really worked out, so yeah. That's such a shame. Why is this door stuck? Odd. Oh, that's why. Anyways, after that, now that we can go down the hall room, these two rooms right here led into the electrical for some of the turbines and just power plants power. This is level 1 of these rooms, so nothing much down here. More of the fun stuff is up there on level 2. But then these are the steam turbine rooms, or just the turbines, I guess. Very loud. And the redstone for these were a little complicated, but they were fine. I did it. I spent too much time on this. Then there's two of them, and then you can manually set them on and off. And then in here, there's more controls and just redstone. Then these are the turbines 1 and 2, which was never... Not a lot of stuff was linked up completely. But if we go back out, we can go back down the hallway, and then there's a few more things. So there was an elevator. As you can hear it coming. And then you could go into any level, up all the way up to level 3. So if we go down here, here's the control room for this elevator. As you can see, much more big and a lot more redstone, which took a long time to design. Way too long. I spent days working on that, but again, we won't talk about that. And then we go out down here. And in here, it would also take you to the control room, but that's fine. Then this was kind of just like empty space, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. So I decided to kind of make it like a lava and water room. And for the water, I had this cool idea, but the glass isn't showing it. But I wanted it to look like this, as if it was cooling down the heat. So that was interesting, or just getting pulled down or something. So, yeah. We go back. Now we can go up to level 2 and start the door there. So in here, it takes us up to level 2. There's the reactor management. So kind of like the control station where you would watch and just make sure everything's okay. There is an alarm for the reactor itself, but nothing else. Very loud and annoying. And then there's just the lights for the control room, or reactor room I should say. The place is so big it takes a long time for these to turn off. And then the only one on is this one. Then we go back over here, and back on. And yeah. So nothing much in these rooms, just kind of interesting. And then if we go up here, this is level 2 of the electrical room. And there's actually something up here that you can mess with. These switches. These are... Oh. So that alarm is for the event that a power plant is not producing power. Like the reactors, there's something wrong with it. And then it's hooked up to a timer system. And once when the timer reaches 0, power turns off, and then the backup generator turns on. So this power plant kind of has 2 backup generators, in a way. It's very interesting. And, of course, I forgot to put buttons here. Not surprised. And then if we go in here, this was like the experiment room, which I forgot to mention in level 1, but that's fine. This room is just like the room that would have a giant zombie, and then we would just do experiments on it. And then it just takes you down here. But the since we're in peaceful mode, because a lot of this place is dark, the zombie isn't there. We go back in here, go down. Here's the elevator that you can call. Stairs back down to level 1. The documents room. That's where you would store information about employees, payrolls, checks, and all that. And then the door to level 3. And then this is the classroom over here. Simple, basic. Of course there was like the light switch, turn off all the lights, or just turn off half of them. Yeah, pretty simple. And then there is the science room. And so in here you would put in the password, which in this case is a piece of dirt. So very good. You gotta wait for the password, so be back, do your stuff, and then you can just go through. And it's a one-way exit, so you can't go in and out through one way to prevent people from unauthorized getting in. Then this is like a work tower. Version 3 had an actual tower. This is just like an office. But it was very simple. Just a basic work little place. Then if we continue going over here, here is the meeting room. So if you wanted, you could sit, and then you could discuss things like, hey, why isn't the power plant working? We're losing money, all that, blah, blah, blah. This little jukebox to play your music. We go down. Here's a door to go into the ceilings, but there's not much down here, and you can get lost very easily if you don't know where to go. So we're just gonna go back up. Whoops. And then if we go over here, here's the cafeteria. And in the cafeteria, there's the kitchen. Oop. Then, if we go up here, it's kind of like, there's kind of 2 level 3s. And then in here, there's the meeting room for all the employees and presentations and all that. So let's turn on the lights. Are these broken? Nah, they just were glitched. And then in here, this is the employee lounge. And then if we go up here, there's 2 paths you can take. You can either go down to the next level on proper level 3, or level 4 where the administration is. So there's the owner's room and then the co-owner room. In the owner room, it's actually linked up to a hopper system, which is connected to level 1 to send messages from the task board. And then if we go down here, it takes us to level 3. Nothing much out this way, it's just kind of, unless you want to fall into the ceiling. But if you go down here, it takes you to the library. And I did this on a live stream, and man, that sunset is, that sunset is pretty. Or no, it's morning rise, my bad. My bad. Anyways, then there's of course the door to manage the lights for the stairs. Then there was also an elevator, the big one, that could take you up here. Then if we go back down to level 2, if I can remember how to do that. Over the stairs, down here, take us back down here, over here. Then there was a viewing area of the reactor. And then another mini control area. So in here, there's just like another little control area. But then, that's all for Powerplant version 3. As you can see, a lot more rooms, a lot more features. But for the size, there isn't all that much. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty big, and it's very fun to play with mods on this thing. So if we go over here, version 4, this is the better fixed and more sophisticated one, you could say. And over here, it's a lot of the same things, but just better. There is the ID checker that you could do to open up the gate. Right now the gate's set on force open. Then there's IDs in here. So, you know, there's that. And then you can go into the hallway. Gate booth, pretty much the same thing. Security room, pretty much same thing, just a little bit nicer. And way smaller. Some lights. And then you can go up into the backup generator. Emergency power status and the power status. And then this power plant also had some alarms. But that's going to take a while until you hear those go off. And then yeah, that's this whole part right here done. And then there was the interview room, which had a major redesign. So as you can see in here, version 4 is way nicer. Yep. Then there's the staff only area, so kind of like to have meetings and just for staff to talk. Then here's the new interview room. So yeah, that's nice. And in here, this would be a file and documents room. Oops. So this area takes a lot of space, but it looks way nicer. And then if we go, there's the stairs. Here's the bathrooms. So, yep. And then there's the experiment room. Fish tanks. And then there's the new storage room, which had a automatic sorting system. So you would set the items, and then you would put the items in. Here you go in here, and then it would just get sorted. And then if you go in here, it will take you to the mobile vehicle bay. No trucks, but interesting. This is kind of like the maintenance room, and this is just kind of like a hallway. And then back here takes you just down the hallway. We go in here. There's the control room. And then this is what I made the alarm chaos video. And so this is all functional. There's functioning lights that you can mess with, toggle, emergency alarm. And then it'll turn on these alarms in a second. And then as you can see, the light is now on over here, stating where the alarm is at. Turn that off. And then there's a status board to let and remove people from the reactor room, which is a feature from Powerplant version 3. Yeah. Wait, no, this is Powerplant version 5. Have I been calling it 4? I don't know. There's too many Powerplants for me to count. And then there's also the lights for the hallways and rooms and all that to the reactor. So if we go over here, we can manage those lights. Yep, seems like they're not working. Oh wait, they're set off, that's why. There we go. And then if we go back in, there's a lot more alarms. So there's the force door open, which was also part of Powerplant version 3. And then there is the power loss warning. So if we turn this on, we should... Yep, there's another alarm. And then over here, there is a danger alarm. So if something were to happen, like the main power goes out, it would automatically display that the main power is off, or the power is off for the power plant. It would turn on the alarm, and the danger would start to increase, as shown by this light. So after that, once when it reaches max, the alarms would turn on. Turn that off because it's loud. Yep. Oh, and then there's like a little ding 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 when it's good. When it's going down. So if we go over here, there's the entrance to the reactor. So if we accept that real fast, we can do, yep. And then the doors will open. And then they'll close automatically. And then, oh, that shouldn't be working. There's an issue with that. Oh well. Pretty much, when there's items in this chest, this door is not supposed to open. But let's take out the code. And now the door should technically be able to open. If those doors were open and you tried to go in here, they wouldn't open until they're closed. But since it's closed, we can go in. So as you can see, an actual way to get into the reactor room, which is nice. And then of course the hallway that was shown earlier. For the lights and all that. And then the reactors. And this one has quad. So yeah, this is a lot of power. And then there's the proper cool exit with proper water decontamination, lighting, draining, which is just not really draining. And then if those doors are open, these doors won't open until they close. Then that takes us back out here. And that's level 1. Then if we go up here, nothing fancy. There would be the watch room, just to the reactor. Then these stairs would just kind of take you up a path, which is confusing, which pretty much take you to the same thing, but this one also takes you to a different story and level, and it's just very confusing why I did this. Anyways, we go back down here, take a turn here, and go down this hallway. This is supposed to be like another status room where it would tell you where the fire alarms are going off for level 2, but I'm not sure if I would be able to implement that with the amount of space I have. Then if you go over here, here's meeting office, a new cafeteria, then the kitchen would be over here. Go down again. All the way down here, there is a new office style with like the main office being down here to manage and watch over. So that's pretty cool. And then there is just the stairs. Classroom again, much bigger this time. Don't know why it had to be so big. The laboratory with the proper key code combination and much faster. You can also pick up your ID card. A better exit system. And yeah. So that's Powerplant version 5, I believe, because this one should be version 6. Yep. So this one is a lot smaller because there's not as much work done on it, but has a lot more advanced automatic systems and all that. Just overall interesting. And then this is the newest one that I've been working on. Powerplant version 6. So this one comes with a new style. These are like the braces on the building. And don't mind the Among Us. It's not sus. There's a new keycard system, so when the ID is here, oops. If there's anything that's not the correct keycard, it won't stay open. You have to have the correct keycard in order for it to open. Which I think is an X? I don't know. But you have to have the correct keycard in there for it to stay open. And then the gate booth. A really nice decked out security room with proper little meeting area, TV, speakers, plants. And then this also removes the security room going to the backup generator. Has a nice light system. And then if we go down here, here's this here's the management room for the key lock and timer and all that. And then there's some more down here to manage the gates and hydraulics and all that. And so, yeah. If you go up here and down here, this is the garage. As you can see, this is like the newest one with the least amount of work done. And then there's the famous hallway with plants, experiment room, stairs, and so that's pretty much level 1 for this power plant. Then up here, there's the office room that isn't done yet, but looks pretty cool, I would say, with the new glass styles. And then if we go back out, there's nothing else. Okay, I thought there was more. But yeah, that's the history of the power plants. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and yeah, see you later.